Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. We made it to YouTube Live. It's working. We're here. We're live. It's me, your host, Lauren, for the Late Night Show with Lauren, accompanied by my co-host, Sleepy Dog Gus, who is always sleepy and behind me. All right. We're going to get started with our hello song. Hello, hello, it's time for music. Hello, hello, it's time for music. Hello, hello, it's time for music. It's time for music today. Hello, hello, it's time for music. Hello, hello, it's time for music. Hello, hello, it's time for music. It's time for music today. And we'll stop. Okay, my friends. Oh, Gus, you leaving? Or are you just adjusting? Oh. All right, plopping back down. Great. Okay, everybody. So, if you missed it yesterday, we are doing a plants and gardens theme this week, for me, at least for the late night show. We're going to be working on plants, flowers, garden kind of themed things, because it's all happening right now. It's real time. It's spring. It is here. And I am so happy that it is here. And I hope you're happy about it too. Okay, we're going to start by learning about the different parts of the plant. Okay, just of plants in general. It's going to be to the tune of Muffin Man. I found this on Pinterest. Just this tune, but I couldn't find who to credit it to. So I would give that to you if I could, but it's still a wonderful song. Maybe somebody could find it, but I was not able to find it. All right, this is how the chorus is going to go. We can sing this part together, and then we're going to find out the different parts of plants. Oh, do you know the parts of plants, the parts of plants, the parts of plants? Do you know the parts of plants that make them grow and grow? We'll sing that one more time. Do you know the parts of plants, the parts of plants, the parts of plants? Do you know the parts of plants that makes them grow and grow? Okay, let's talk about our first part of plants that makes them grow and grow. So I've got my handy dandy felt board here. We're going to start by talking about roots. I don't know if this is reversed for you or if it's in, if you can see the word there, if it's backwards. But the roots of the plant. This is the part that is under the ground. So it's almost like, for it being underneath the plant, it's kind of like the feet of the plant. It goes underneath the ground. It's at the very bottom of it. But it doesn't do what feet do. Roots work on soaking up the food and the water for the plant, and it helps kind of keep them in place. That's our roots. So we're going to use our feet to be our roots and stomp into the ground while we sing about the roots. Stomp, 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 stomp. The roots, they hold the plant in place, the plant in place, the plant in place. The roots, they hold the plant in place, soak up food and water too. We'll sing it again. Keep on stomping or wiggle your toes on the ground. The roots, they hold the plant in place, the plant in place, the plant in place. The roots, they hold the plant in place and soak up food and water too. Tongue twister there. Okay, we have our roots that hold the plant in place. Okay, I wonder what's going to come next. Let's see. So coming up from the roots, we have to, so the roots are soaking up that food and water, but then we still have to get it all the way to the top of the plant. And how are we going to get it there? The roots are only underground. So that means that the roots are going to carry the food and water for the plant up to the stem of the plant or the flower. All right. We're going to put that stem above the roots. Also, you can do this just with any picture of a flower. Just you can cut it up into fourths here and make your own little plant puzzle. You could cut it up into more than that if you wanted. That's what I did here. So we have the roots that are picking up all the food and water and delivering it to the stem. The stem moves the water and food up the plant, okay, and it brings it to the flower and to the leaves, which we'll get to next. But we're gonna move water up the plant. We're gonna do that by reaching low and then reaching way up high. So it's a good stretch, reaching down low to your toes and then reaching up high to the ceiling. The stem moves water up the plant, up the plant, up the plant. The stem moves the water up the plant, brings water to the leaves. Keep reaching low to high. The stem moves water up the plant, up the plant, up the plant. The stem moves water up the plant, brings water to the leaves. Okay, let's start back from the beginning. So now we're going to do the chorus, which you can pat your knees or clap along with. We're going to go to the roots, which remember that's your feet or your toes, and then the stem being reaching low to high. So we're going to do all of that so far. All right, here we go. You can pat your knees or clap your hands. Oh, do you know the parts of plants, the parts of plants, the parts of plants? Do you know the parts of plants that make them grow and grow? Okay, remember we have the roots. You stomp your feet or wiggle your toes. The roots, they hold the plant in place, the plant in place, the plant in place. The roots, they hold the plant in place, soak up food and water too. Okay, what was next? We had the stem. And the stem moves water up the plant, so we're going to reach low to high. The stem moves water up the plant, up the plant, up the plant. The stem moves water up the plant, brings water to the leaves. Okay, good job. Next up, kind of gave you a little hint, or it gave away the answer. The end of the last one. It brings water to the leaves. So we have our little leaf here, 2 leaves. I'm gonna add that to our little flower puzzle going on here. Okay. So we have the roots that soak up all the food and water and bring the nutrients up to the leaves. But what do the leaves do? Why is it important for a plant to have leaves? So the leaves open up and give a lot of space to soak up the rays of the sun, so they absorb that light for the plant. That's really important for the plant. That's how it makes food, is by absorbing light. Just crazy. I mean, that's so cool. It's super cool. We're not going to go into the specifics about it yet. But for the leaves soaking up the rays of sun, we're going to reach our arms out wide, stretch your hands out, and you can spread your hands out all the way to your fingers. Just really reach, reach, reach so you can get all that sunlight for your plant. All right, let's sing it. The leaves soak up the rays of sun, the rays of sun, the rays of sun. The leaves soak up the rays of sun and help the plant make food. We'll sing that again. The leaves soak up the rays of sun, the rays of sun, the rays of sun. The leaves soak up the rays of sun and help the plant make food. Okay, we're going to do the whole thing now. Let's see if you remember the actions. Oh, do you know the parts of plants, the parts of plants, the parts of plants? Do you know the parts of plants that make them grow and grow? All right, we had our feet and toes. This next one. The roots, they hold the plants in place, the plant in place, the plant in place. The roots, they hold the plant in place, soak up food and water too. All right, next we're reaching low to high. The stem moves water up the plant, up the plant, up the plant. The stem moves water up the plant, brings water to the leaves. Okay, what was the one that we just learned? We just learned about the leaves. So stretch your arms out wide. The leaves soak up the rays of sun, the rays of sun, the rays of sun. The leaves soak up the rays of sun and help the plant make food. Okay, good job. What's at the top of the plant? So we have the roots, the stem, the leaves. And then what usually is at the top of the plant? Let's think about that. It's usually beautiful colors. They smell really nice. It is the flower is at the top of the plant. The flower at the top of the plant. And why do we have flowers? I mean, they look nice and they smell nice. So we have flowers on plants because that grows into a fruit eventually and holds the tiny seeds. So not all of them are a big fruit like we're used to buying at the store, but they all grow what we consider a fruit at the top of the plant, and that has all the seeds that eventually get dispersed and create more flowers and more growth, which is super important because why not have more flowers? That's an awesome thing. So for our flowers growing into a fruit, we are going to reach way up high. So you're going to stretch high, and you can even sway to side like you're in the wind a little bit if you'd like. So become your own beautiful flower and move like you believe your flower would. The flower grows into a fruit, into a fruit, into a fruit. The flower grows into a fruit which holds the tiny seeds. Sing that one more time. The flower grows into a fruit, into a fruit, into a fruit. The flower grows into a fruit which holds the tiny seeds. Okay, we're going to start back at the beginning. I'm not going to tell you what we do this time. You got to remember it. Do you know the parts of plants, the parts of plants, the parts of plants? Do you know the parts of plants that make them grow and grow? Got it. The roots, they hold the plant in place, the plant in place, the plant in place. The roots, they hold the plant in place, soak up food and water too. What was next after the roots? The stem moves water up the plant, up the plant, up the plant. The stem moves water up the plant, brings water to the leaves. Okay, what was after that? The leaves soak up the rays of sun, the rays of sun, the rays of sun. The leaves soak up the rays of sun and help the plant make food. What was the last part of the plant? Right to the very top of it. The flower grows into a fruit, into a fruit, into a fruit. The flower grows into a fruit which holds the tiny seeds. Good job, my friends. We can pat our knees or clap our hands for the last little chorus here. Now you know the parts of plants, the parts of plants, the parts of plants. Now you know the parts of plants that make them grow and grow. And you will stop all done. Nice job, my friends. Let's take a look at this cool flower puzzle that we just made. So we have the flower at the top, the leaf below it. Here, trying to get rid of glare here. The stem and the roots. So remember, the roots soak up food and water. The stem brings that up to the leaves. The leaves gather all that wonderful warm sunlight. And the flower turns into a fruit and has all the seeds to make more plants. So those are the parts of plants. I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe you learned a little something. Also, I got this picture, just for credit's sake. Got this picture from like a little kids packet on Herbal Academy of New England's website. I think they have a bunch of like kid learning about plants and learning about flower packets, and from what I could see, it looked really cool. So check that out if you liked this. It looks like they had some kind of coloring sheets, learning stuff. So I'm into that. I think that's super cool. Hopefully you do too. Okay, next up, we're going to learn some sign language and also learn the spelling of the word spring. So first, I'm going to sing it, and then we're going to talk about it. So you can pat our knees. S-P-R-I-N-G, that can only mean one thing. We have trees and flowers, birds and bunnies too. That means spring for me and you. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So the letters in the word spring. We start with the letter S. We have the letter S. Yeah, it's the same no matter which way I put it. Shoot, I hope that's not backwards for you. We have the letter S. S is the first letter of spring. We're going to put that on our Velcro board here. And the sign for sign language, the letter S. You just make a fist like this with your thumb in front of your fingers. So this is S. If your thumb's on the side, that's not S anymore. That's the letter A. So you want S. You're making a fist, angry hand, S. There you go. So we have S for spring. Let's sing it again. Let's pat our knees. S-P-R-I-N-G. That can only mean one thing. We have trees and flowers, birds and bunnies too. That means spring for me and you. So we started with an S, and then after that we had the letter P, the letter P. So we start with the letter S. We move then to the letter P. P is kind of a tricky one to make in sign language. So almost make a peace sign with your fingers, all right? Now here, I'll kind of show you the side too. Your middle finger is going to go out a little bit, like that. Your thumb is going to go in the middle of those. This is the letter K, actually, right now. But to make the letter P, then you flip that upside down. So I'll show you that again. Start with a peace sign. And then you move your middle finger forward a little bit. Your thumb goes up in between them. And then your hand points down. That's the letter P. Okay, so we have the letter S. You remember how to do the letter S? It's fist with your thumb out front. Great. And then the letter P. Peace sign. Middle finger forward. Thumb in the middle. Point it down. So we have S, P. Okay, let's sing it again. Let's do it again. Pat your knees. S-P-R-I-N-G. That can only mean one thing. We have trees and flowers, birds and bunnies too. That means spring for me and you. Okay, we have the first two letters being S and P. What comes next? S, P, R. R. R is the next letter. S, P, R. The letter R, you're crossing your fingers. So make a peace sign. And then your middle finger is going to move behind your pointer finger and give it a little hug. It's from behind. Just giving it a little bit of a hug here. So that's the letter R. Okay, so peace sign. You're going to cross your fingers, middle finger behind the pointer finger, giving it a hug. And this is the letter R. So all together we have the letter S. So fist with your thumb out front. Letter P, which is the peace sign with your thumb in the middle, but pointing downwards. And then R. So you got to go back up with your hand, with your fingers crossed. So we have S, P, R. Okay, good. We're going to move on. Let's sing it again. Let's do it. Pat your knees. S-P-R-I-N-G. That can only mean one thing. We have trees and flowers, birds and bunnies too. That means spring for me and you. So we have the S, the P, the R. S-P-R. We have a vowel next. It's the same thing that you would say for whatever I'm pointing at right now. It is I. I. So S-P-R-I is next. Let's put I right here. Just going to continue downwards. We don't have enough room to go all in a row here. We have S-P-R, and then I is pinkies up. That's it. That's all we're going to do. Just plop up your pinky. All right, and it's kind of tricky to put it all together. So I'll show you real quick that it would go S-P-R-I. All right, so that's our letter I. I believe your thumb is to the side for I. I don't think it's in front. I don't know if it makes a difference. I can't remember. This is I. So let's review what we have so far. We have S, fist with your thumb in front. P, the upside down peace sign with your thumb in the middle of it. R, fingers are crossed, middle finger is giving your pointer finger a hug, and then I, pinky goes up. Good. Okay. S, P, R, and I. Let's pat our knees. Let's keep on going. S-P-R-I-N-G. That can only mean one thing. We have trees and flowers, birds and bunnies too. That means spring for me and you. So what letters do we have so far? We have S, P, R, I. What was next? I, N, G. So the next letter is the letter N. Here we go. We have S, P, R, I, N. Spring. That's all we have so far. Spring. So the letter N. What we're going to do is kind of make a fist, right? But these two fingers are going to go up. Your thumb kind of covers your other fingers here, and then put these two fingers back down. So pointer and middle fingers up. Your thumb is going to kind of make it so like if you were doing a fist otherwise, and then these two fingers go back down. Some people do N all the way down like this. I've seen it either kind of relaxed out or down. But that's what you need to know is these two fingers go over your thumb, on top of your thumb here. All right, great. You don't want this is T. You don't want this is M. So two fingers is N. So to review, we have S, fist with your thumb over it. P, peace sign with the thumb in the middle, but it's upside down. All right. R, fingers crossed. I, pinky out. And then N, two fingers over the thumb. Okay, let's keep going. We have one more letter. We do. Pat your knees. S-P-R-I-N-G. That can only mean one thing. We have trees and flowers, birds and bunnies too. That means spring for me and you. Our last letter, S-P-R-I-N. Do you remember hearing it? Do you remember what I said? The last letter is the letter G. The letter G. We have S-P-R-I-N-G. So for the letter G, imagine you're taking your pointer finger and your thumb and you're saying, it's this small. It's this tiny. Or you're holding like a little bean between your fingers here. This is G. You're kind of holding it out like this. Okay, so not upright like this. This isn't G. You kind of turn it to the side like that. All right. Yeah, G. Yep. So G is that way. So it's kind of tilted to the side here. So you can kind of see that my thumb is up. You're not completely covering it. This isn't a letter in sign language, so you do have to have your thumb up. All right. So reviewing all of our wonderful letters here. You have S. So that's your fist with your thumb over it. P, I'll give you time to make that peace sign with your thumb in the middle, but flip it upside down. R, your fingers are crossed. I, your pinky's up. N, the pointer and middle finger are over your thumb. And G, you're holding a little bean with your thumb and your pointer finger, but it's sideways. So this is the letter G. So all together, so you can see me do it a little bit faster, is S-P-R-I-N-G. S-P-R-I-N-G. So that's how we spell spring. We'll do it very slowly this time. Okay, I'll sing it. Or I sing it very slow. We have S, P, R, I, N, G. Good. That can only mean one thing. We have trees and flowers, birds and bunnies too. That means spring for me and you. Let's do that one more time, a little bit faster this time, and then I'll teach you the sign for spring. All right? We have S, P, R, I, N, G. Good. That can only mean one thing. We have trees and flowers, birds and bunnies too. That means spring for me and you. So one thing to avoid, if you are interested ever in learning sign language, and learning all the letters at least. Try not to bounce it when you go to every single letter. People kind of have this tendency to go S-P-R-I-N-G. And that'd be kind of tough if you were trying to read words on a page and they were bouncing all around. All the letters were on a trampoline while you're trying to read them. That'd be kind of tricky. So try to keep your hands still while you do it. You don't have to do any bouncing. It can all be the same. So that's spelling spring, but the actual word for spring is it's kind of based on the sign for growing. So your left hand is going to be out like this. Your just fingers are together. Your thumb is up or just relaxed thumb. Your other hand is going to be the plant that's growing from it. So it's going to start together like this. So it starts kind of in a fist below and then comes out, okay? So it's growing from the ground. So imagine this is almost like your flower pot and you have a flower coming up out of your flower pot. This is really close to the sign also for a tree. It's similar to that too if you know that word. So you're growing from the flower pot, growing from the flower pot. So let's try it this time, but spelling it with our fingers and then saying the word at the end too. We'll do it 2 times so you can kind of see how I do it first. We're gonna pat our knees. Well, no, we're not gonna pat our knees. We're going to spell it. My bad, guys. All right. We have S-P-R-I-N-G. That can only mean one thing. We have trees and flowers, birds and bunnies too. That spells spring for me and you. Let's do it one more time now that you kind of see how I'm doing it. We have S-P-R-I-N-G. That can only mean one thing. We have trees and flowers, birds and bunnies too. That spells spring for me and you. All right, we know how to spell spring in sign language, and we know just how to sign the word spring too. How cool. Way to go, my friends. It's time for us to sing our goodbye song already, but thank you so much for watching and learning and, I don't know, enjoying your day and enriching it somehow. Hopefully it was enriching for you in any way. At least if you're here in Minnesota, it's really dreary today. So today's a good day to just kind of cozy up, read a book, learn some things. At least that's what I did. I don't know what you were up to. All right, we're gonna sing our goodbye song. Hey, guess what? It's time to say goodbye to all of my friends for today. Hey, guess what? It's time to say goodbye to all of our friends. And we'll stop all done. Thanks for tuning in, whether you're watching it now or later. And thank you for your patience as we navigate starting to do things on YouTube Live, which seems to be working well, but if you're having any big issues with it, if it's just not making sound, if it's not working, let us know. We'd love to hear your feedback. But again, thank you so much for sticking around and listening and enjoying the music with us. We really love doing this for you guys. So hope you have a good rest of your night. I will see you here tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.